everyone, and welcome to Club2 Episode 3 of Relegation Rescue at Sparta Rotterdam. So you'll know that in this particular series we play every other game in the league on an episode. So we haven't played an awful lot of matches between the last episode and this one. We've just had the one against Venlo. You can see that we lost. Unfortunately, we lost 2-1 in the 94th minute from a penalty that we gave away. So it was really disappointing. I thought we'd got a reasonable draw at that point just to give us something to build from. But no, in the last dying seconds of the match, we gave away a sloppy penalty and they took a 2-1 lead and we had no time to come back into the game. You can see that that's left us sitting still rock bottom of the division, way behind everybody else at this point. We do need to start picking up some points really quickly. But the next two games are really important and an opportunity to do that. So we have Den Haag and we have Zwolle. And you can see that they're the two clubs sitting directly above us in the relegation zone. If we can come away with 4 points, 6 would be amazing. Then we've really got a chance, I hope, of potentially clawing our way back out. If we lose both of these games, I don't know how we get out of this situation. So that's what's coming up in the next couple of games. And today it's Den Haag on this particular episode. The only other thing to talk about is that we have closed the transfer window. It's now the 6th of February. So we have closed the transfer window. And we did do a couple more dealings since the last time you and I were together. You can see that there's still some things being ironed out in terms of staff. And there's a player leaving us in early summer. But that's okay. He's only a youngster and wasn't really going to succeed as our club. But in terms of what we did, we bought in 2 extra players. And the 2 extra players are Van der Volp and Bruns. And Van der Volp is a youngster, is 21 years old, but I think just as a finisher, if we're playing 2 up top and I want to play sort of a poacher up top that's just there to put that ball in the back of the net, as a young 21-year-old, he's got a couple of good attributes that I think we can improve on, and so he'll come and play a part probably off the bench. There's a couple of players ahead of him in the pecking order, but even so, we needed a few sort of bit more numbers in the squad, and this is a guy that I've bought in to help us out do that. Didn't cost us an awful lot of money. If we were sticking around, we could probably make a profit on him. But for now, I just hope that he'll come in, play a couple of games here and there, and maybe get 1 or 2 goals along the way. So that's the first one. And the second one is Thomas Bruns. And we bought him in for a little bit of money. Not a lot, 700k. We bought him from Vitesse. And he's going to come in and play in our central midfield. He's gone straight into the team. He's an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder. And I'm going to play him in that central midfield role and the box-to-box role. But you can see that he's got decent passing, decent long shots, decent free kicks, which is helpful, good leadership, teamwork, work rate. There's lots of positives in there. And I think he is a step up on what we've had in our midfield so far. So he takes his place. It's the 2 Bs in the middle of the park, Brute and Bruns. And hopefully they're going to, between the two of them, find some creative spark for us. We've changed a little bit of this Route 1 play. We've calmed that down slightly because we've got slightly better team members in the middle of the pitch to be able to pass the ball. But we're still going reasonably direct. But we'll change it as we need to along the way. It's not set in stone at all. So yeah, Bruns comes into the setup. And you can see that, where is he? Van der Welp is on the bench alongside Mboyo. So those are our impact strikers. And the rest of our squad is pretty healthy now, which is good. A couple of people come back from knocks. And so it's basically a full strength squad to choose from. So the team that I've put out for today's really, really important game against Den Haag is Fabry in goal, Matthew, Benamar and De Braal in central defence, with Abels on the right and Hammerleinen on the left, with Sanchez and Brute and Bruns in central midfield. And up top we've got Veldvik and Thor. And the rest are pretty much on the bench. There's a 12-man bench that we can name in the Eredivisie, so that's all positive. So let's get into this really crunch game and see what happens. So, just before the game, I told the team, go out there and show the world what you're capable of. We've not been showing that this season. Well, maybe we have. We'll find out. This club is either going to get relegated because we're just not good enough, or they've been on a bit of a downward trajectory and we can boost them up one way or the other. We'll try our very best to get them out of the relegation zone, but we've got to go and try and show the world that we can actually get the ball down and play football here against an opposition that's not brilliant. I mean, they are slightly better than we are in terms of where they're sitting in the league, but that doesn't mean that they're one of the big boys in the division at all. So let's hope that we can actually find a committed performance. But the first opportunity goes to Den Haag, but they fail, don't they, really? They fluff their lines a little bit. They had two chances there, two really good chances, and they put neither away, and our keeper does very, very well to keep that ball out the back of the net. But it's an early warning sign, and here's the second warning sign from a free kick. And again, the goalkeeper, Fabry, tips it round the post for a corner kick on this occasion. And we are under pressure very early on, and the corner comes in, but we partially clear it. They're going to pick up the loose ball again, though, and get it back at us, probably. But no, the highlight dies, and it re-emerges with us on the ball instead in defence. And we're playing it around dangerously, and we lose it in a very key area. But a very tame shot from Den Haag, and again the goalkeeper picks up the loose ball. But we are creating our own problems, and this is what we saw in the Augsburg save a little while ago. When you are down in the relegation zone and your confidence is low, you make silly decisions, and it comes back to bite you more often than not. And so far, we've been a little bit lucky. But again, it's Den Haag down that right-hand side having a real go at us. They get it down onto the left foot of their left-sided attacker, and he puts the ball in the back of the net. And we can't say it hasn't been coming. 30 minutes in, and we've been under pressure for most of the 30 minutes, and we're in a lot of trouble, aren't we? If we lose this game, that puts another team further distance away from us, and it's going to be very hard. We have to find a way to try and at least get a draw out of this match. So immediately we'll send out a shout to the lads saying, get creative, up the tempo a little bit. We'll go a bit more attacking, because we don't have any choice now, really, especially in the lead up to half time. If we could have one attempt, that would be good, but we don't. We go right the way through to the end of the first half, and you could see that match stats terms, we seem to be doing okay. We're matching them for every aspect of the game pretty much, but in highlight terms that has meant absolutely nothing, and we've not really had a chance at all that has been worthy to look at. So we are going to have to tell them that they've been disappointing assertively. It's time, let's go for it. That didn't go well, did it? I told them in the end, show me something different, but it demotivated one of our front guys, Thor, and the rest of our lineup is fairly fired up. But yeah, that hasn't quite gone as well as I'd hoped. But never mind, there's not much we can do about that now. We have to go in and play this second half and see if somehow, even if they're frustrated by something that I've said and done, they can put that on the pitch and make it mean something. Over the top to Thor. This is the first chance for us, and he smashes it straight at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper parries it wide, and a chance goes begging. Corner kick comes in, but it doesn't find any of our players, and Den Haag get it clear again, but we pick it back up in the defensive area. Our throw-in down the left-hand side gets it into Bruns, and Thor, and crosses it far side. Abels comes in off that far wing and can't quite get the quality on the shot, or the header, sorry. And we are really, really struggling to get anything on goal that's not quite simple for the goalkeeper to cope with, or that's just completely wayward and misses the target. Bruns, though, with a really good run down that right-hand side, slows the pace down to Abels. Can we get the cross in? Cross comes into Hammerleinen, and Thor, unlucky, very, very unlucky, but in the end it was offside. But it was a good opportunity opened up for us, and we didn't quite manage to take it, and then the offside flag went up anyway. And Den Haag come back at us again. They've taken it centrally. Our shape is good in the sense of we've got men behind the ball, but they're not really doing a good enough job of closing down. And there's another case in point. On the very edge of the area, we give, I think it's a free kick. I don't think it's a penalty on this occasion, but we give a free kick away. And again, we put ourselves under pressure by diving in at the wrong moment. And these are the sorts of mistakes that we have to get out of our game for us to get anywhere in this division. Ref comes out and he's given a penalty. I was convinced that was outside the penalty box, but there we go. Penalty. 2-0 down, simple as, really quickly, wasn't it? From the decision to the kick, not much time to analyse and really figure it out. But we've caused our own problems for the second time in this game. Oh dear, this is going to be almost impossible, I would say. Why do I do this to myself? Anyway, time to make some changes. Thor, 6.4, comes out. Van der Velp, the new youngster, comes in, and we're going to change both top guys as well. And Boyo comes in to see if he can get anything from this game for us. And we've got one more, and we've got Hammerleinen down the left-hand side, as our left wing back is not as good in condition as others, so we'll bring him out just to give him a rest. But there's so little we can do until this squad find a bit of cohesion and a bit of togetherness. Then we're always going to struggle, and then when we make silly mistakes, we're going to struggle even further. And that's what's happened up until this moment. But there is the substitute, Rochelle, and he's come in and got a looping header over the top of the goalkeeper, and we bring it back to 2-1. Immediately he makes an impact down this left-hand side. It was a very good throw-in from Abels onto Mboyo, one of the other substitutes, back to Abels, and he sees that run of Rochelle right off that left-hand side of the penalty box, and he cushions that header, loops it over the top of the keeper, and we give ourselves a glimmer of hope. Sanchez with the corner kick. Can we get another chance? We do get another chance from Mboyo, but his header over the top of the crossbar. And this is looking a bit more promising. Let's go in and shout, demand, let's push forward. That's the shout we're going to give. See if we can keep this pressure on for the last 10 minutes of the game. Again, the free kick comes in, and we get a headed goal from Mboyo, the second of our substitutes to get on the score line, and one of our striking options has come on and made a difference. You can see he's been involved in a couple of things already before this goal, but the cross comes in and he's at the back post, and he gets above the defender and headers the ball in, and we take it back to 2-2, and we've fought right the way back. And I don't want to lose the momentum, so we're going to keep pushing forward and see if we can find a way to get something from the last minute or so, but at least keep the momentum working in our favour. It looks like that's going to be it. It is it. And we came back from a 2-0 deficit to get a 2-2 draw. And all that shows you is that, one, they're willing to fight, and two, there is some semblance of quality in this side. We've just got to really dig in to find it. So we'll tell them passionately, you've done brilliantly to come back and salvage a draw. That's a really good result in the big scheme of things. Doesn't get any easier though, does it? The next game is against, again, another one of our relegation rivals in Zwolle. And we're going to have to see if we can find a way to get the 3 points from that game, just to close this gap up a little bit. That's all we can do, little bit by little bit, try and close the gap up. So we'll be trying to do that in the next game against Zwolle. Join me for the next episode where I'll update you on that particular game. And then we get Vitesse. And where do they sit? They sit mid-table in 9th. So it's going to be another tricky game, but not the worst type of game to come back to. Let's just go and check out their run of form recently and see how they're doing. So they did go for a bad spell in December, but they've come back since the new year quite well. A couple of wins there. And so, yeah, and they've still got a couple of games to play before they come up against us. So hopefully, by that point, their form will have dipped. Ours will have increased by a good win against Zwolle, and we'll be up for the fight. Let's see. Join me next episode to find out. It was an unfortunate first half performance, I would say, in this particular match today, but at least we showed some fight and determination, and we're maybe not done totally just yet, although it's still going to be really hard. Join me for the next episode to find out what happens next. Thanks for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. Click that subscribe button and join my United City community. If you enjoyed this particular video and the comeback, click that like button. Helps me get seen by loads of other people. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.